Hey folks, welcome to the CIA Bonanza. It's getting thick out there. I'm cooking the dog food. We gotta go to the grocery store today. So that's done. And I'm eating M&M's. Don't know what else to do. Well, the past week, been very cloudy weather. And it was wet, dampish, not very sunny. But we got food for a few days. And that has to last for a while. Second Safeway though, they don't have they have the big old Quaker oats, old fashioned rolled oats, but they don't have the big size for the steel cut. No. But an oat's an oat, and we found a bag of oats that is like half the price as the Quaker brand. Not even a Safeway brand; it's a name brand. It's just not the one you're used to seeing. I know I'm late, but I'm here. Toots is here, hon. And Melissa. It's a party.
I'll be at the party in a minute.
Okay. Only if you want to.
Do I need to put on a shirt?
Probably. I could always move the camera up so you don't.
They're covered anyway. I'm wearing a bra.
You're right. We'd probably get reported anyways. Because showing bras, we live in Saudi Arabia. You can get your head cut off here. So, anyways. There's a lot going on with the CIA. I probably haven't talked too much about it lately. But I think we need to talk about what the CIA's been up to. Those are all gone. I should get me a soda now. Oh well. Safeway haven't had any meat sales. Remember how I told you that the food prices are going to start going up? Oh, I think they are. Sucks
Okay,
because we're not.
girls are secure. Are we good?
They can totally see your bra.
Ah!
I know. Stupid rules. Fascist hellhole that we live in and all.
Although I could be wearing a bikini and it would be fine.
I know.
Apparently.
So, the CIA's been fucking up a lot lately because all of their spies have been getting caught, and summarily executed, actually. So basically what the point they're getting across is, if you live in Iran or Iraq, slow cooker, eh? I'm gonna make some salsa tomorrow. I'm so tired tonight. Let me,
Damn it.
damn.
Hot thing.
But, anyways, the CIA has been really busy lately. Since, I mean, you know me, I follow the news and like all the shit, the protesting and revolutions and war and things like that. I say, there's vibes of truth, man. That's a new person, right?
Hi.
So, like, I don't know if you've been paying attention. They have this new thing, these people where they're wearing yellow and they claim they're Iranian citizens and they're protesting that they want regime change in Iran. And they're all saying they're Iranian.
And they're all wearing.
Except they're in like DC and stuff. They're fucking a fake.
Because there's so many Iranian refugees.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, I'm sure there's a few. But
no, but they're in Germany, in America. They're everywhere except for Iran. All right. And okay, let me tell you what this is. This is a CIA operation. Let me go find them and put a link somewhere. Whatever. If I can get it in. Whatever. Oh, okay. Yeah, there's pictures of these stupid fucks. And anyways, what I want you to fuck off. The important part, just so you know what they look like, this is the Google image thingy. This is a CIA funded operation. It's actually funded by a bunch of anybody who hates Iran gives us money, but it's mostly CIA. Anyways, the biggest what they're controlled by. Oh wait.
sorry.
Oh, it probably will toots. We have, yeah. So they're called the MEK or there's a few other acronyms for them. But remember before I was telling you about how there's this cult in Iran and they've assassinated like a couple, since the Shahs took over, they've actually assassinated several thousand government employees in Iran. And they're accused of being a cult, and they make their followers are like brainwashed robots, just like the cult movies and stuff. Anyways, these Iranian regime change protesters that you see supposedly in America and in Germany, well, they are bankrolled by the MEK. They're a cult. These are cultists. And the big hordes of masses is just the CIA. Will you please stop blowing smoke in my face?
Sorry.
And the big hordes that are following them is just stupid ass slave idiots that think they're signing on to like some progressive change type campaign. They get their emo shits and then they go out on the weekends and they fucking, I mean, you can tell they got big fancy signs that are all nice and paid for and pre-printed and anything, all that stuff. They're fake. It's a CIA operation. And what they're trying to do is to get the U.S. and also other, if you notice it, the only place you see these regime change for Iran protests is in countries that have been anti-going to war with Iran, which is the American civilians and the German government. So
Wait, you're saying that German civilians do want to go to war?
Well, no one cares about them. It's Merkel, so you know they're fucking. It's a fake elections there. No one would vote for that piece of shit.
Oh wait, she's stepping down, isn't she?
No,
Or,
I know.
I thought she was quitting in some.
No, her
in some
fucking
way.
her rule was being in the last election. She lost a lot of support.
Oh, is that what it was?
Her party lost a lot of seats, but she still was able to hold on to power.
For some reason, I thought I'd read somewhere, but
No, you're talking
I
about
don't know what
the
I'm
England
talking
one.
about, so.
No, you're talking about Theresa May. She is stepping down.
Okay, maybe I got
No,
it confused.
yeah, because they're both piece of shits. They're both these very evil, sunken in, old ass fucking
son of a bitches.
What?
Mhm.
I don't, like a fall.
Oh, right on the San Andreas one.
Yeah.
I was in the San Francisco earthquake in 1989.
But these Iran regime change protesters. Hey, Tanya. It's all CIA funded and ginned up. It's completely contrived stuff. And the people out there are going to say they're like Iranian refugees, blah, blah, blah. But it's all bullshit. It's complete bullshit. It's fake. They're fucking, a few of them are obviously CIA operatives, and a few more of them are paid protesters. And the rest of it is just a bunch of stupid fucks that, they get the emails from their, Move On and Act Blue and whatever the fuck else.
Pretty much, at least I've come to the conclusion everything's fake.
Mostly, yes.
All fake.
But anyways, what I'm saying is those people, this stupid thing with the yellow wearing idiots didn't exist last year. It wasn't in existence. Now, Iran's been ruled by the Shahs for decades now, but just in the past few months, we have thousands of people popping up going, we want regime change in Iran. Until America wanted to go to war with Iran, these protesters did not exist. So they're fake. It's fake. It's contrived. It's government-sponsored protests. The CIA, actually. So that's just a fucking fact right there. I have no doubts on that one. They did not exist before we wanted to go to. Before the Trump put out the JCPOA, there was no civilian protest about fucking regime change in Iran. They did not exist.
Well, and it's kind of funny because, our country has been anti-Iran for at least since
40 years.
Well, yeah,
before 40 years.
At least since 1980, because that's when my stepbrother went to the first day of high school with the Mickey Mouse shirt that said, "Hey, Iran," and he was going like that.
No, that was before the Shahs took over. Because we've toppled the Iranian government like 3 fucking times in the past 60 years. And the mullahs or whatever have been ruling for the past 40 because and I'm learning things about the Iranian government. They have a president, and you know how they have the Ayatollah dude, the supreme leader? He's not all powerful. He's not a dictator. There's actually...
Or God.
No, the Shahs, there's a ruling council that they never get involved with government directly, but they can remove the Ayatollah from power. They choose who the supreme leader is. So Iran has a hybrid government. It's not a religious dictatorship like we thought it was. And the people vote nominally. The people vote for the president, right? That's how you get crazy people like I'm a dinner jacket as president, right? And the president they got now is I actually like him. He's pretty good as a president goes. He's a very, very skilled president, a very skilled diplomat. So I'm very...
Wait, you're not talking about our president?
No, I'm talking about the Iranian president. I forget his name though.
Because honestly, I miss the George W. Bush days. He seems like he was a fucking scholar.
But the Ayatollah is not all powerful. If if the Jedi Council of Iran decides that he's not like following the Quran or some shit like that, or if they think that times have changed and it's time for a new spiritual leader, they'll pull him out. It's like the Pope. The Pope, there's a council that chooses the Pope, okay? Well, Iran's got a similar type of system like that.
All hail the lizard people.
Yes. Oh, gosh. No. Oh, my goodness, guys. You're funny. So that's how that goes. But I'm talking about the CIA. Now, last month or so, actually, this happened a while ago, and it just hit the news recently. Iran dismantled a CIA cyber center network, actually, in where they had base operatives like all over the place, all over the Middle East. And Iran arrested all the ones in Iran, and they shared the information. So there's like CIA operatives all over the Middle East that are rotting in jails right now in the Middle East. They're all in prison. In fact, Iran started executing the spies. They also found another spy in an Iranian general, not general, but officer in the Air Force. Did you forget to take that this morning?
Yep.
Motherfuck.
I know.
Well, take one now. Like, not really.
Well,
just wait.
No, I should probably take it now.
Okay, yeah, you're right. And then take another one at midnight.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well. Now, just today, the Iraqis, Iraq is, the reason we're talking about the CIA is because the CIA is trying to dismantle both Iraq and Syria and Iran so they can create a Kurdish state, and then they want to have all this religious nations. It's so crazy that in America, what you guys would know as the deep state, but it's actually just the CIA, is trying to break up all these fucking secular nations and hybrid nations and turn them
deep throat state.
Yeah, and turning them all into religious, like hardcore religious dictatorships, actually.
Cults, really.
Yeah, really, yeah.
Sounds like a cult.
They want a Kurdish cult, a Shia cult, and a Sunni cult. And they want it to look like a big rainbow on the map.
Look at how good it works for the Mormons.
Yeah. But anyways, the Iraq intelligence services, I don't know if they actually got the person arrested or not. Yeah, I'm thinking they probably did. Anyways, one of the, there was an Iraqi general that was working for the CIA, a CIA agent. And when I say CIA agents, I don't mean Americans, but I mean citizens of other nations that are CIA agents. They're what you would call in the James Bond movies, the double agent. Mm-hmm. Anyways, this CIA agent from Iraq, an Iraqi general, they got his phone, and he has a WhatsApp conversation with an actual U.S. CIA agent, the controller agent, the actual American CIA agent, whatever. The conversation with him, and he was texting 10-digit grid locations to all of the Russian and Iranian bases over in Deir ez-Zor on the Syrian-Iraqi border. Now, if you don't understand how Army stuff works, your maps are in grids, and they're 1 kilometer square grids, so you have them broken up into tens, which gives you 100-meter interval. Right? Now, what? I don't know, actually. But anyways, a 10-digit grid gives you a 1 by 1 meter pinpoint location of something. So a 10-digit grid means you have it's a 1 meter square on the actual ground. It would be like just like a 3 by 3 foot square. It'd be 1 meter approximately. I think it's like 2.6 feet or something like that. I'm not sure. But anyways, this Iraqi general was giving the locations to all of the bases of the Russian and Iranian forces over in Deir ez-Zor. Now, if you don't, I forget if I talked about it last time? You have a line? Oh, yeah. See, I'm freaked out about Iran. Right? I'd probably give her a stroke. You're freaked out about Iran and you talk to me.
You're in this fascist shithole and you're worried about Iran.
If you're worried about Iran and you're like worried about what they can do, and I start telling you what Iran is capable of, it'd probably give them a stroke. But so they caught that spy in Iraq. Now, what you don't know from like the CIA, they're the Central Intelligence, they're spies, and they do secret things. Like I just gave you an example of that Iran regime change protests, and I gave you the link just so you see what the pictures of them looks like. Well, they're trying to radicalize and turn the tribal warlords against each other in both Syria and Iraq. And they also are funding the MEK cult in Iran, and they're funding a lot of this protest in Iran too. So they're trying to it's fake popular uprisings. It's the same thing they did in Venezuela with the Guido guy.
There's the mech thing.
Yeah. It's the same thing.
It's like the Mecca.
Yes. But anyways, so Iran's all over the Middle East right now, Syria, Iraq, and Iran, and they are funding and they're funding all of this popular protesting, popular uprising stuff. And what they plan on doing is exploiting the chaos during the riots and the protesting to isolate the Iraqi actual government from the people and to destroy Iraq and Syria that way again. So right now, what's wrong now?
I think she heard something.
It's all right, Mary.
Yeah, I don't think she heard anything.
So right now, you know how we're doing the whole thing where Trump's not attacking Iran? It's because the American Pentagon, the Pentagon knows that they can't fight a war with Iran and win. They cannot do a direct kinetic war and win against Iran because the U.S. military is shit right now. It's a bunch of undisciplined fucks, and our tech is some old shit, and all the new shit that come out is created by box slaves they're stupid fucks because they choose to be a box slave. They're narcissists, so they do the resume saying how great they are, but the fact of the matter is they're a George Bush C student. If that. Actually, George Bush makes these guys look like James.
Yeah, they're more,
these guys
Trump,
make Bush look.
Trump level.
They're at Trump level where they only understand pictures, okay?
Yeah, they mostly illiterate.
She was just buying cat food. So America, because they couldn't win using direct kinetic war, and as you've seen from Syria, like, you know how I always tell you that when they're trying to do a chemical attack in Syria, but you notice how we haven't seen a chemical attack in Syria? It's because the Russians and the Syrians have their spies too, and they're finding out where the chemical weapons are and blowing them up before they can get used. So the past couple of false flag chemical attacks, they've all failed because Russia and Syria has blown up the chemical weapons before they could use them. So the CIA and America are getting their asses handed to them both in kinetic warfare and on the spy realm. So now they're ginning up these protests, and they're thinking that they can cause disruptions of these nations with these popular protest type of deals. And it's sad because it's just like how the liberals were turned into fascists. What I'm learning, guys, look, I was pretty naive growing up, and I thought it's like we all think, like, because you have a certain level of mental faculties, and everybody, I think normal people consider themselves like just a normal average person. And so we've thought that most people have the reasoning skills that we have. And I'm telling you, the average human is not very smart, and their brains are very easy to manipulate. And everybody's being brainwashed and programmed, and it really is like we're in the land of the body snatchers, kind of. Except it's not aliens, it's just the CIA. is taking over their brains. Because you guys, you're way more smart than everybody around you. You really are all alone in this universe, being a smart person in a world of not very smart humans. And that's why I call us pirates, because we're a species that is not human. We are the pirate species. You see, being a pirate and having a pirate nation is about transcending humanity.
Okay.
We're better than humans. We are literally better than humans. Like
I have
calling
brain damage, and I think
you're
I'm
still better
smarter.
than most average humans. Yeah.
Smarter than your average bear.
Smarter than your average human for fucking sure. That's not even a question, hun. I mean, if you had been brain damaged to the point to where you weren't smart anymore, you wouldn't have the empathy that you have, and you wouldn't have the mental breakdowns and all the anxiety and stuff. You have to have a brain to have those things happening. Okay, I'm not even worried about you that way. I know you're all there.
I think I have more of a violent streak than I used to.
Well, when you get your brain scrambled by a drunk driver and the criminal justice system lets
And
them
you
go
want to
free,
smash things with rocks.
and you wake up and the hospital's trying to turn you into a goddamn tweaker zombie and fucking pumping you full of fucking chemicals that you don't need.
And then they drop you on the floor.
Yeah, and then they kick you out on the streets. Then you're gonna be angry. That changes your perspective of life a lot. It's like why everybody tells me, like online, the person accused me of having a deep-seated hatred of everything. Well, I'm a soldier. I've watched people burn alive. All right, literal people's literally burning alive. So my buddies have come back off of patrols with holes in their faces, like missing teeth and stuff, and missing pieces of their ears.
I saw little kittens get squished.
I had to take care of my
the tires.
I've had my that's sick.
It was pretty sad.
I've had my girlfriend got hit by a truck and put into a coma and having her life almost snuffed out by an evil nation. And
really, you had another girlfriend that happened to?
We were saying how you lived through it, but I did too. So that was a traumatic experience for both of us. So classic stoicism. Classical stoicism. Well, there's only stoicism's always classical. I don't think they practice it anymore. Right? Is there a modern stoicism? I've always considered myself more of a utilitarian, but a more a scientific utilitarian or a pirate utilitarian. And it's the firm understanding that sometimes you got to snuff a motherfucker out. All right. Because there's no place for evil in a just society. And if you're a just government, it's your job to snuff out evil. So I consider that myself that kind of a utilitarian. I'm not one of those cloud hippie fucking rainbow fart and unicorn utilitarians. And I really don't like the labels anymore. I just want to have a nice council of 100 and we go point by point, issue by issue, day by day, fucking take things as they come and fuck the isms and the fucking fancy words and all of that stuff. That's how I figure it. You know, it's like Black Dynamite. I grew up fighting, I fought, and I fought, and when I got tired, I fought some more. And that's how I live life.
Fighting.
Yeah, yep, and putting my wiener in things. Which is just another way of fighting. I'm cooking the dog. I've learned that I gotta boil the things a lot because they're frozen. And there's no meats on sale, so that was sad. You know why the store was so busy? Because it's fucking EBT payday, so everybody was there.
Yep.
145, and that's we have 30 days to go. Well, I mean, next month we can spend some money on actual food, our actual money. And
maybe, I don't know. We're
and
gonna have
sooner or
some
later we'll be able
expenses,
to go to the food banks. After our fresh fruits here and stuff are used up is when we'll have to start hitting the food bank.
too.
When I was younger, the food banks always had fresh food. Nowadays, not so much. So
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, the CIA. So they're doing all these fucking things, and they basically, because we only have about 80,000 soldiers in the Middle East right now. Well, 80,000 uniformed personnel, and that's combined between the actual soldiers of the combat arms and the Navy and all of that. Okay, so we have about 80,000 uniformed personnel in the Middle East. And that's it. That includes all the pilots, all of the Marines, all of the Army people on the ground, all of it, all together. And we know we have that much, not because America is telling us what our military is doing, but because Iraqi spies report on their newspapers on what they're spying on, and they are the ones counting the troop numbers. So I can't even get the truth from my own government, but I can get the truth from an Iraqi intelligence officer or a Syrian intel officer. Like when I tell you about stories like the scoops of like how the reality differs from the newspaper stuff, it's because I'm talking to intelligence officers in the Middle East. They run the propaganda channels, whether it's a newspaper or a YouTube channel or whatever. And I talk to them directly. I talk to them. I ask them questions. I'm like, hey, dude, I heard this story. What's up to that? And they tell me because that's their job to fucking, they want people, like they want Americans to know how things are on the ground in real life. Because then we would have, if they can convince their enemy populations to see what the truth is on the ground, then you have to fucking humanize them. And you can't just call them, point and go, oh, you're a terrorist, you're butchering your peoples and blowing up hospitals and stuff. That's not true. That's not real. But what there is real things going on the ground. There is real disputes, like the Iraqi or the excuse me, the Iranians and the Russians that are over on the Syria-Iraq border are having a real dispute. Not like they're shooting each other, but they're having a difference in opinion on how they should proceed with the war against America. Because that's what we're in. It's a war between America and everybody in the Middle East. There's America, France, Germany, England, Australia, and UAE, which is nothing, and then Saudi Arabia, which is nothing. A few little satellite nations or whatever, minnow states, as Putin likes to call them, and they're and it's America and NATO versus all of them. That's what's happening in real life. But there's a dispute because Russia is worried Israel's going to attack the Deir ez-Zor bases because that spy that got caught gave all the 10-digit grids. And it was like a list of like 10 or 15 locations. So it was a lot of targets. So Iran and Russian forces. Oh, there's an ambulance, a fire, apparently.
They're not stopping here, are they?
No.
Like
it's probably the old people. That's not good.
Yeah.
That's not good. Sorry. That sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Oh well.
This is not us.
Then they just went left. Let me go. Maybe they took the wrong street. That's the bad part. And that's one thing I studied in school about how these fucking rat-worn streets, they call them lollipop neighborhoods, all the urban sprawl, it really wreaks havoc on emergency services.
Oh, yeah.
Because with the way the streets are broken up, it's really fucked up. And that's one of the reasons people are dying, because it takes so long for first responders to even find their fucking shit.
That's because the street out there is like trail or something, and then
Yeah.
you turn on to court or
Right,
something like
exactly. And like, look, when we went over to Gig Harbor and the same street name was broken into two separate, completely
Yeah.
different pieces and
Yeah.
shit. Same exact street name.
Hmm.
Anyway, that I just went off on a tangent there. Anyways, but yeah, I actually some of my, not a lot, most of my information comes just from newspapers. But because these intel officers are busy, so obviously they don't have time to fucking drop what they're doing and answer every stupid question I have for them. And sometimes I fuck with them because I'm bipolar and shit, and they get mad at me and everything, and then they won't talk to me for a long time. But I think it's cool that they actually know me. Like, even when I have different channels and shit, they'll still know me. Like, the one dude said he was thinking about me because I haven't said anything to him for like since before your accident and stuff.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but he still remembered me. So there's people out there across the world, man, that they know me, you know. So that means something. There's Syrians out there on the battlefield that, you know, what, that I know.
I don't.
You know? Well, of course, Vibes. That's one of the, just so you know, that Live UA Maps is a NATO propaganda website. They nominally say that it's ran out of Ukraine, but suspiciously they keep the working hours of Langley, Virginia. So you can just, it's not that they put out lies, which they do sometimes. They try to only do factual reporting, but they fail sometimes, and sometimes they accidentally publish like Jewish propaganda stories that are totally fake. And what they do most of the time, basically that propaganda channel, it's more of propaganda by omission more than like information, which means they put out all the stories, the real stories, like that are pro-America or pro-Israel, pro-Germany, pro-Europe, whatever, but they'll conceal all the information that, like, when the bad news happens to like the NATO people in Syria and stuff. So like when the SAA is kicking the shit out of the HTS al-Nusra dudes in Idlib, they don't post that on that website. What they will post is, oh, Assad killed 3 civilians in this barrel bomb attack. And that's not what happened. What happened is al-Nusra is using human shields, and Russia and Syria blows them up. And then unfortunately, this is war. And then the human shields get blown up with them.
Yeah.
No, I use that. I go to check that site daily, though, man. You see, just because everything's propaganda, everything media is propaganda because it's funded by somebody or something. It's funded by a government or by a rich person, or it's somebody's small little fucking hobby website, and it's a local on the ground reporter. So then it'll be biased for whatever their views are. It's all propaganda. Propaganda is not a bad word. It's just an acknowledgement that everything has an agenda. We're humans. And if somebody's putting information out, it's because they have an agenda. So, and I say it's NATO propaganda. What I'm trying to say is it's always slanted pro-NATO. That's all that means. I mean, you can even be pro-NATO and still acknowledge that that site is pro-NATO propaganda. It's like I read pro-Iranian propaganda all the time. I fully acknowledge that it's propaganda, but that doesn't mean I don't read it. I need to get you need information. You got to get news. It's better to acknowledge that everything's got an agenda. Everything's got a slant on it. You know. Holy shit, Tuts. Does not surprise me. But yeah, it's like right now, the Ukraine is shelling the crap out of the Donbass again. Why? This happened immediately after America gave them another $250 million credit limit. They started bombing their neighbors again. Fucking the Nazis, man. You give them some money, they go blowing people up with it.
Yeah.
And I don't really follow the Ukraine stuff much because all I know is that as soon as Russia gets pissed off a little too much, they're going to invade their punk asses and dismantle that nation. That's just going to happen. Let's see. So that's going on. What other CIA stuff? Because I really wanted to focus on the main thing is I can't really say it enough is how the CIA is ginning up fake protest. I mean, they're real protests, and the people believe that they believe the stuff they're saying. All right, that's the other thing you got to realize, that when the slaves have their mind hacked by the CIA, they believe the bullshit they're pushing. The best agents are agents that don't even know they're agents. All right. And these people are the ones that are up on the Twitter and arguing with people and being very passionate about things. And then the CIA, they don't have to do any public things. They just follow these people, and then they can shadow ban anybody that becomes a problem for them. And they kind of pave the way for the nutters. Mm-hmm. So that's how the CIA does things like that. Yeah, YouTube for me is totally pointless. I'm really only using it so I can do our streams and talk to you guys. And it's cool that we get new people showing up. I like that. And it tells me that I'm not, that smart people are finding ways to find our channel. So apparently. I'm not sure I could. So maybe they're smarter than me. I don't know.
I don't know if I can still call myself a smart person.
You are. You just have emotional problems.
I just have a broken brain.
No, you have emotional scarring on you. When you get you have a brain injury, and if you have a brain injury, you have a hard time coping with emotions, and it makes it to where you're not able to think properly during emotional outbursts. But when you're calm and in a good state of mind, your brain works just fine. It does.
Okay.
I'm not smart. But anyways, where was I? See, I'm not that smart. That's the funny part, though. We're not that smart because we're all nominally humans, but we're way more smart than the average human. So that's why I say, no matter how flawed we are, we're the best that humanity has. Just remember.
Remember what? I'm not
I don't even know either. Just remember, though, George Washington had to cross the tarmac to board his flying machine.
And go fight the Nazis.
And Cornwallis. If you haven't seen that little meme showing up somewhere on Twitter, you need to go look it up. Trump claimed that the Continental Army had to take over the airports to beat the Brits. And then the next day he blamed his teleprompter.
Which, it's actually kind of funny if you think about the guy typing out the teleprompter thing totally gave him something else. Of course, I don't think Trump can read.
Yeah. Hey, thanks, Vibes. Yeah, that's what I do. I'm a news junkie and a war junkie, and I kind of want a free nation. I want to be in a nation where I'm not a slave anymore, and I want to be in a civilization that I want the citizens to be proud of their nation. I'm a fucking patriot, as much as the word patriot is a dirty word to me, but in the actual sense of what a patriot is, that's what I am. I want a nation that I can be proud of.
Yeehaw! Pew, pew, pew!
Not like that.
No.
Like if, let's say if I was the POTUS, I would be nice to Russia because I'd want their S-400s so I could reverse engineer them. I'd want their MiGs. They have 5th generation fighter jets that are better than anything America has. Like our our 5th generation fighter jet isn't even a fighter jet. It's a fucking VTOL, which is a piece of shit. And it works on swarm fucking technology. The computers on the F-35 are networked, which means you're not even in charge of your own fucking vehicle. The computer's in charge of it.
That's
And the computers on each fighter jet shares data, so they're the Borg. That's basically the Borg. Side boobs. But the Russian 5th generation fighters, they're totally different. And they got different kinds of jets for different kinds of missions. And they got they understand war the way NATO's forgotten how war works. We're in this big fascist monolithic, well, it's not monolithic, they wish it was, but it's falling apart from the inside. But this big fascist empire where they want to be their slaves they can train with, like, all the slaves get to go through the same school and then they're pilots. And it's all the same vehicles, so all the slaves get the same programming. That way they don't have to develop 5 or 6 different schools for 5 or 6 different kinds of pilots. You know, things like that. It's why they're trying to make a one-size-fits-all jet. They want a one-size-fits-all battleship, and they want a one-size-fits-all, like, everything, like a tank that does everything and stuff like that. Whereas Russia and other militaries understand that the war doesn't work that way. Like, Russia has different technology for fighting in the Arctic than they do for fighting in the desert. All right, totally different vehicles, total different fucking training, total different uniforms, totally different guns. All right, that kind of a thing. Did you know Syria's starting to manufacture domestically their own 50 cal sniper rifle? Oh, that's what the dog trap said about their still stupid fireworks. It's all right, guys. Really? Yeah. But,
okay, everybody. It's okay.
Yeah, I like having new people show up. I stopped going to those channels because they wanted me to censor myself, so I said, screw it, I'm not going to be here no more. That's another thing I am. Free speech, all or nothing. Free speech, like I mean free speech, like you can stand out in Times Square and say, I'm building a bomb and I'm going to blow up my grandma's house. And the cops and the government wouldn't be able to do anything about what you said. Now, if they wanted to follow you home to see if you actually were building a bomb, that's a different story. But you see what I mean? Freedom of speech does not mean freedom of consequences. It does mean if you say something and then you do it, you've kind of confessed ahead of time. Right? But the reason you never ever want to prosecute speech is because humans love to brag. So if they're not afraid of the government getting them in trouble solely for what they say, they'll go around talking a lot. And then they're easier to catch when they actually do commit a crime.
And they'll say shit like, you know,
I was framed.
Took over the airport.
Like Trump. Well, I think we banned one Bob sock.
Yeah.
You know. But that's her stalker, her ex-husband that tried to kill her and like literally tried to kill her, like kicked her in the head and threw her in a bathtub and turned the cold water on her when she was doing a concussion and refused to take her to the hospital. So, you know, except Bob the fucktard. But yeah, you're right. Even the crazy guy that's accusing us of like being the CIA or whatever, we don't fucking ban him. He's free to come here and talk whatever crazy he wants to.
About how we're the CIA.
Yeah, tell us how we're getting CIA information and stuff. Yeah, it's like that. If somebody threatens me and or spam, but that's the whole thing. People like that don't even come here. You know? Oh yeah. Yeah, you're talking about that. Our neighborhood, we have Mexicans everywhere, so it was lots of fireworks.
It's been going on for since like the 2nd, I think.
Yeah, pretty much. And it's the 6th. It'll probably happen on the 7th, too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh! I already did the whole JCPOA thing, and that's pretty much solid. Since then, What?
I forgot to cancel the thing. I better go do that.
Holy shit, you're right. You're going to go cancel it?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I forgot. Hey, we could always go down there and sign in and then go leave early. And, since the last time I was on, no, wait. Did I talk about the super tanker that got hijacked by England? Off the coast of Gibraltar, Jabronis. It's the entrance to the Mediterranean. It's actually Spanish waters because they don't recognize UK occupation of Gibraltar as an actual legitimate thing. So that's not real. Well, they consider illegitimate occupation by the Brits. And the Brits apparently, on the orders of America, hijacked an Iranian oil tanker going to Syria. This was in international waters. Oh my God, Melissa, I'm so sorry. That's worse than the earthquake. Now, the UK is a signatory to the JCPOA. The EU is a signatory to the JCPOA, which means England is double tapped because they haven't Brexited yet. So they're still a part of the EU. And they're also signed on as a nation as the UK independently of the EU to the JCPOA. Also, the UN is a signatory to the JCPOA. The UN itself is. Now, Iran has not once violated the JCPOA. Just so you know, America was never a signatory to the JCPOA. So Trump pulling out of it was just America going back on the word. Instead of signing it and ratifying it into law, Trump walked away from it instead. And remember, Iran and the rest of the entire world, the UN, the EU, everybody was going by the JCPOA since 2015. Then 3 years later, Trump pulls out of it. And the entire world falls apart because of his law breaking. He went back on his word. It shouldn't even matter that the U.S. isn't a signatory to it because the UN is, and the U.S. is a part of the UN, and the UNSC is a signatory to the JCPOA, which means all UN nations are supposed to honor that treaty. It's called international law. The United Nations is the body of international law. So that chicken's probably done by now. It's been cooking for as long as we've been talking. Anyways, so there's that. Hi there, it's okay, Murphy. You know. So, yeah, the puppet presidents. The problem is the U.S. president isn't really a puppet so much as a rodeo clown. Toots, I don't know. Actually, have a bomb bunker. You mean a fallout shelter type of a deal? That would be kind of sort of yes.
Okay, it's done.
Thank you. What they have is there's like an underground, I think they have an actual underground train in the White House, don't they? Like a subway type of. They had some stuff.
I'm pretty sure there was a underground tunnel from
Yeah.
the White House to like a bar or something.
Exactly. So the answer is probably yes. No, but the president isn't actually a puppet. The president is a quasi puppet. I call them rodeo clowns. And it's, if you've read Douglas Adams and you know Zaphod Beeblebrox, how he's the universe, or that he was the greatest president of the galaxy, not because he had power, but because he was the most successful in distracting the people from the people that really did have power. And that was the job of the president of the galaxy. And that's what the job of the US president is being the chief rodeo clown. Now, the chief rodeo clown does have the power of certain powers as laid out in the Constitution and executive orders and congressional laws. I mean, it's such a Franken monster. You know, they don't have the power that a president should have. And like your Murphy, stop. The president's supposed to be your chief diplomat. Their sole main purpose isn't to be a warlord. It's to be a diplomat. And that's why you're supposed to have, that's why you have the chief of staff and the fucking, what do you call that? The military council or whatever. And they're supposed to handle
I have no idea what we're talking about.
Right. Now they're supposed to handle the military end of things, where your civilian president is supposed to handle diplomacy. That's why you're not supposed to elect a rodeo clown, because you have now a rodeo clown in charge of your foreign policy.
And he's just pissing everybody off.
He's vile. Now,
making friends with North Korea.
Now, the whole part of where you can say that the United States president is a puppet is in the fact that only really stupid billionaires are allowed to be the president. Or people that are corrupt and easy to control, and then they would be a real puppet. Like Obama was a puppet of the CIA, completely owned, wholly, 100% CIA puppet. They even bragged about how much Obama was a puppet of theirs on 4chan. The CIA was bragging on 4chan about how Obama was their puppet. So, yeah, Obama was the real puppet. Trump is a madman. He's insane. I call him the man-child and the chief rodeo clown. But he's not a puppet per se, because he doesn't care. He really doesn't care. He doesn't have enough brains to care. He doesn't understand that he's destroying the world and America as we know it.
He thinks everything's just great.
He thinks that he'll just ask him, he'll tell you. Everything's great. There's earthquakes in California. The Midwest is underwater. Our crops are ruined. China stopped buying 60% of our crops like they used to, so our economy's in the shitter. But according to Trump, it's the best economy in the history of the universe. And it's all because of him.
Apparently.
Yeah.
And just him being there, not doing anything, because he has done fuck all.
Did I mention how Trump has been the actual least productive president in all of U.S. history? Like I said, your president's job, Kim's brother, you got to watch out for the hooker spies. They'll get you every time. So it happens. I've had my fair share of fun with the, North Korean hooker spies.
Did you give him fake information?
No, I just gave him my wiener. I didn't give him no information. Most guys were paying him like $100 a night and stuff like that. And I'm like, pay? No, I don't pay. Unless I'm really, really drunk and they like make it seem like a mystery, and I'm like thinking I'm playing like that let's make a deal game or some shit.
No whammies.
No whammies. No whammies. Mimes too. Shut me for puppets. That's funny.
A puppet president would be cool.
But he's really a madman. Man, I cut myself shaving so bad. I had like blood just pouring down my neck.
Actually, yeah, it's a little bit.
Still bloody.
Started to drip just a little bit.
Man, I cut myself good. I had anxiety when I was shaving, which gives me shaky hands. So I mean, I use an old-fashioned razor when I safety razor.
This is why I don't want to.
You don't have shaky hands. And you have to wait, and I will buy you the razor, the single edge razor that will be this. It'll be the exact thing that you're used to, except for better.
Yay.
It'll be, you'll like it. It'll be something that'll last forever. And the blades, you get like 100 of them for like $5 or something. Like the thing would last forever. And I might even buy 2 kinds of blades because maybe I want to see how it works for shaving, you know. I wouldn't want to, I think my safety razor is perfect for the head, but the single edge safety razor might actually work better for shaving. I don't know. I like my safety razor though. Those things are fucking awesome. I love that thing. I also have a straight razor, but I have only used it like 3 times and I usually end up bleeding a lot.
Slicing your head.
Not on my head, my face. I'd never use the straight razor for my head. Ugh, that's asking for some blood.
And a Sweeney Todd yourself.
Yeah, that's not. But the straight razor can actually, if you do it right, get you a closer shave.
I like the shaving.
The soap. Yeah, real shaving soap with the real shaving brush. What do you call those brushes? It's just the brush, whatever. When you do real shaving, the wet shaving, it's called. It's ours is I have a boar's hair one or a badger hair brush, but I prefer the nylon synthetic. Actually, it gives you a better lather. It just works better. I'm surprised, but this is one of the times where modern technology works better than, like, you know, killing the animal.
Go figure.
I know it's odd how that works out, but I'll do, when we're on the road again, I will go through it all. I don't even have the good shaving soap anymore, but definitely, if you want a good razor, go on eBay and look up World War II. It's called, it's a Gillette Speed, something, Super Speed. Gillette Super Speed Safety Razor.
So wonderful.
It's called a super. It's and they're from the 1930s and 20s and 40s. They're the original safety razor, invented by Gillette, no less. Gillette turned into a shitty company, just like Ford. But in the beginning, they were the inventors of the things. They invented the stuff, the originators of modern shaving gear. And the safety razor is fucking awesome. A double-edged safety razor is the awesomest shaving device I've ever used so far. It's better than the straight razor, only because I'm not good with the straight razor. Now, once we get on the road and I'm just say, fuck it, I'm going to practice using the straight razor, maybe I'll learn to like that better.
He'll have gashes on his face.
Whatever. But, you know. So, yeah, I don't know how I got on talking about shaving stuff, but whatever. Yeah, once we get on the road, I'll start making videos and putting the links up for those things again. Product reviews. Not much, because once I find what I like, I stick with it. You know, I had that whole time where I was trying different things out, and then I'm like, oh, I needed to tweak this a little bit, and maybe try a slightly different thing here. And then I was like, okay, this is the stuff I like, and that's what I use now.
I like that. What is the Schmidt's toothpaste?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
The coconut
SJW toothpaste.
Awesome.
Oh, dudes. So, what? The blade is cracked. Oh, that sucks. Oh, you told me about the blade being cracked. Once the blade's cracked, it's a goner. Unfortunately, that sucks. But my razor, it's from World War II, and it was used by somebody who probably died in the battles somewhere in World War II, man.
And then somebody picked it up off the field, and look.
No, his family would have gotten his possessions from the military, and then they shipped his stuff home to his family so they could have his stuff.
And they're all, sell this on eBay.
And then 3 generations later, they sell it on eBay. But you can still find them for like 20, 30 bucks. A good old fashioned Gillette Super Speed safety razor. My straight razor had the original Bakelite handle, but I removed it and it unfortunately broke when I was removing it because I didn't remove it properly. And then I sent it into the shop and they fixed it with a nice wood handle. I really like it though. It's going to be my melee weapon of choice eventually. I got that in the Spurtle. I could be a priest, the AD&D priest.
Just call you Sweeney Todd.
Swinging Todd. When I get braver. Yeah, cool. Oh gosh, where was I at? 9, 7. Oh, it's time to feed. But I fed them late, so they can wait. Oh man. So
is there stuff we had to do? I might have to take a nap.
Well, you better take a nap because it's 7:30.
Damn it.
I'm gonna have to feed the dogs. I guess we should end this here. I told you all about the CIA Bonanza. So now if you see protesters like wanting regime change free anywhere, whether it's Syria, Iraq, or Iran, it's all CIA generated. It's contrived. It's not actual grassroots peoples.
They're lying to you.
And like the one thing we found out, you know, those pictures of the Iran back in the 40s when they were showing like the girls in the bikinis and stuff and looking out and they're like, look how free people were in Iran back then. Well, that's propaganda. You are the one that found that out.
Mm-hmm.
Those pictures were taken on private beaches. So basically, and Iran's the same today as it was back then for the most part. Their government is set up the way it is because they figured out how to defend themselves against American spy shit bullshit, so they couldn't be toppled anymore. They designed a complex government that's layered that way, that it with checks. It's not checks and balances. It's just they set it up that way so that they can tell if the CIA is starting to fuck with their government again.
Sure.
Okay. And that's why it's a robust system and it works. But their laws are much the same today as they were back in the 1940s. If you're in a public place, they have laws that us Westerners disagree with. All right. We vehemently disagree with telling women that they have to wear certain things out in public. But if you look at America, men have to put on shoes and a shirt to go into a grocery store.
Women have to put on a shirt anyway.
Right. But so if you think about it, all human governments have stupid dress codes. All civilizations have these stupid dress codes. I want to put it down to more based off of hygiene than anything else. And if somebody's smelly in public, they get the hose. And regardless of what they're wearing. And then there's no dress code. You have to have shoes because there's hygiene issues there. Not shoes, but you got to have, you don't want somebody with foot virus things walking around your ice cream section and rubbing their feet up on the mirrors because they have no arms and
Or
stuff like
people
that.
walking around barefoot or likely to cut their feet.
Right, and then there's blood, and that's a problem. So, okay, you have hygiene standards and public health standards, but this whole morality stuff is out the window. And that's you can still fit it in and have, like, say, there's no fucking on the park benches because it could distract traffic. It could scar some sensitive adults' feelings. The children don't care. They'd be like, no, what are they doing?
Might leave a mess on the bench.
Right. Hygiene. See what I'm saying? You don't need morality laws.
At least put a towel down.
Ooh, oh, they didn't know about the pictures. But yeah, she figured that out, not me. See, that wasn't from me. That was from her work, not mine. Serious, that was a total score you got on that one. I did not know that. I didn't even contemplate it, but you looked into it and figured it out. See, and that makes total sense.
I read it on Reddit.
Right.
And I looked into it further.
Yeah, you've got a news story and you researched a little bit and you found some new truths. That's a score. See? That's all I do. So, you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
And that's how I learn new things, because other people look into things too, and then they tell me, and I learn something new, and it's pretty cool. Oh, yes, we
still have
do.
it? I think we do.
Oh, I think it. Yeah, we do.
It didn't like expire, right?
I don't think they did expire. That's. Yes, I do. I think we're supposed to. Oh God, let me check that out while we're here. And
I love Reddit too. I've actually only
I'm
just
lagging
kind
so
of
much.
started reading stuff on Reddit, and
it wants me to.
it kind of takes a lot of my time.
Yeah, but it's been not upsetting you as much as all the other stuff is.
It's definitely a good way for me to just totally distract myself.
What's? Oh God, don't say it. Do you know what it is? I think it's that. And how I remembered that the first time the right way, I don't know, but apparently I did. I'll put the link up, because if you want, if you have people you know to share it with, that would be awesome. But we are so screwed this month. We're down. Okay, to be honest, we have $100 to get through this month with buying meats for dogs and all that kind of stuff. And so if you do want to share it to other people, that would be awesome. But we don't, push that on our friends. You know what I'm saying?
Whatevs.
I'm not going to sit out and beg for money.
No, I totally agree.
Because most people are poor like us and don't fucking have money. And I'm not going to badger people and make them feel guilty for not helping us, because we're all
smash that subscribe button and share it with your friends.
We're all living from paycheck to paycheck in its shitty ass fascist fucking empire. So the last thing I want is for people to feel guilty because of me. Your entire government wants you to feel guilty every time you go on the internet and shit like that. And I don't want to contribute to those negative feelings in the world. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's cool too.
Well, awesome. But don't give things that you can't afford, because it's only the 6th, and it's a long time for the month.
It's a long ass month.
Yeah.
And then next month is long too.
Yeah. But yeah, we're obviously hurting. Murphy, we stop that. We got fleas. We can't even afford bug bombs and dog flea treatments. But next month things get markedly better. As long as we can find a place to stay. I mean, I'm hoping the courts let us stay here through the next month. That would be fair. And that's not even out of the woods, but I just think once September hits that we'll be able to find better.
And by then there's going to be more stuff available.
I would think so.
That would be cool.
But yeah, I know Corn Lips wanted me to email him the stuff, so I should email him that, and I totally forgot. I sent him an email, and then I haven't checked my email for like 3 days. So if I don't get back to you on the email, it's because I'm dealing with lawyers and crazy shit, and sometimes I'm not avoiding you, I'm avoiding evil people that I really don't want to see.
Sometimes you just have to hide.
Yeah, sometimes it's called having PTSD. Sometimes you just got to step back from humanity a little bit. So I'm not actively avoiding friends. It's just sometimes I stay off of the internet and don't talk to people. I've been talking to my mom again. I got to send her a Facebook thing. It seems like so much effort, but she's helped us out, or she's tried to at least. Not her fault that the people weren't good enough for Murphy's, but she tried. And then she really helped out a lot when he got found by the stranger, you see.
Well, that's true.
So she didn't complain about that at all, and she really helped out getting him back to us. So there's that, Oh, well, and it's, whatever. I got a lot of mixed feelings there. And I do like I stay on the international stuff because if I start talking about my personal life, I'm gonna have to think about my dad and his murderers, and then I'm gonna get angry and start ranting a lot. And I'm trying to be a better person, to not let the rage eat me alive. You know.
I'm trying to like do other things when I start to feel my brain taking me to places I
Right.
don't want
I'm
to go.
trying to be a better caretaker for you, which means not being all upset and talking about my plans of revenge and stuff like that and everything like that, you know. Yeah. It's like my daughters visited and I got my dad's ashes. I had no idea how heavy a box of human ashes would be. And my dad wasn't that big of a person. But I got my dad's ashes back. I got plans for that. So here's the plans for my dad. I got a couple plans. My daughter, she believes some things. I don't know. It's like ghosts and spirits and stuff. And she knows I have no truck with that kind of stuff. So she doesn't really bother me with it. Right. But she wants one of those little
jewelry
pieces
that holds ashes.
Yeah, like Mel Gibson in Air America, and he had his toe cremated and put on the necklace. But she wants one of those things. So when I get the money, when I can afford, you know, like I imagine I want to spend like, you know, at least like $100 or something, because I want it to be a nice chain and something that's not going to fall apart and get lost.
Sure.
And I'm probably going to save a portion of it for in case she does lose it, and then I could get her another one made. So I'll have like maybe a little box that I just put it in storage somewhere, right? Oh wow. I'm sorry, Melissa. That's not fun.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a lot of family.
Yeah.
But yeah. Well, if you want anybody to get spread across the Mojave Desert, let us know. And when we're down, if we can, once we get our funding back and we can travel like that, and I can show you some really awesome camping places because we've been in the Mojave a lot. I like the Mojave.
It's pretty cool.
It's got, once you get off the beaten path, there's a lot of neat things. I mean, the Mojave's fucking huge.
It's so huge.
It's just so, a lot of the Mojave is boring, but there's also a lot of it that's really cool. I'd like to go back to that spot with our trailer to where the minivan got the tire ripped.
I don't know if we could get
not that exact space, but I want to go to that ranger station and ask them where a good spot for us in our trailer would be.
Well, that might be, yeah. Because that was a good spot.
But I want to make that for my daughter wants that, and she's planning on paying for it herself or whatever. But I'm hoping I can get to it before she does, so she doesn't spend her money on it. Hold on, we'll be back.
Okay.
Hey guys, we got a visitor. Everybody's going to Yosemite. I've never been there.
Bye.
But I'll be back live streaming shortly, soon. Not today, but probably tomorrow or the next day. Thanks, guys, for hanging out. You guys are really awesome. I just want you all to know that you're awesome peoples, and I'll see you next time.